It may seem extreme, but you have to think of it in such an extreme way so that you can recover from the pain of a loss. You have to think to yourself that every relationship that you're in is temporary. You make the best of it. You try to make each relationship that you're in as positive as possible. That's all you can do. And you've done your part. You have no guilt. You shouldn't feel guilt at all. You've done nothing wrong, therefore. If someone that you're in a relationship with decides that he or she wants to cut ties for whatever reason, whatever their reason is, you can try to fight for it. You can care if you do care. You let that person know that you're very disappointed, that you value the relationship, and you would like to try to fight for it if that person will allow for that. But if the person is adamant on his or her decision, you acknowledge the loss, you quickly begin to recover. You dispose of that person. Forget that person's existence. That person may as well be dead. How do you do this? Out of sight, out of mind. Immediately remove any pictures. Erase the person's contact off of your phone. If you're on social media, which really you shouldn't be, it's very unproductive to be on social media. But if you are, and if you have that person, if you're connected to that person on a social media platform, you immediately disconnect. As I always say, you don't want to have hate for that person. Don't be nice and wish that person well. No, you have to let that person know that you're upset because that person isn't behaving the way that he or she used to. That person's not as close as before. The person wants to cut ties. But don't think about trying to get some sort of revenge or to try to make the person jealous to get their attention back. No. Had a friend that we met a few years ago, and we were really close. Him and I did a lot together. We went to a lot of events, gatherings from people, with people in our community. And just recently, he decided that he was going to get offended by me because I've been honest and the truth offended him. And he figured his solution would be to cut ties. We had a few conversations about this, so I knew our situation was leading up to this breaking point where he was finally going to make that decision. I knew, and I confronted him about it directly, letting him know that I knew that at some point he's going to want to end our friendship. And he was honest about it too. He said, yes, I'm thinking about that. Now I asked him his reasoning. I let him know that I'd be willing to maybe not try not to offend him, but really it's not your job to worry about offending people and what people are going to think of you. If you have to walk on eggshells, let's say, if you have to be fake around certain people, if you can't be your authentic self, then those people are just not for you. And this friend, he kept coming up with reasons as to why it wouldn't work, why it wouldn't be a good idea for us to maintain our friendship. So after I tried to fight for it, I let it go. And I'm not hurt by it. I'm not as... I've recovered. I feel better off, actually. And you will too, if you do as I say. I don't feel much of a loss. I feel more at ease. It's less of a responsibility having to worry about, oh, what am I going to do or say next that's going to offend this person? Is this person upset with me? I'm no longer worried and overthinking it over that person. When people leave your life, or when someone kicks you out of their life, it's a blessing. Really, it is. Let people weed themselves out of your life. Here's a test that you can perform to have a better understanding of who is useless to you. Go through the contact list on your phone. One by one. You come across one contact and you think to yourself, okay, this person, how often do I hear from him or her? Do I find myself putting in more of an effort to stay connected? Then call the person message the person, but it's more authentic to have phone calls than messaging. So if you can get the person on the line with you, the person answers, try to catch up, check on that person, then wait a month. If you don't hear from that person in that month, then you're not much of a priority in that person's eyes. You delete that person's contact. You erase all forms of connection. And you do this step by step with each contact on your phone.